Welcome to the Daily Dish with New York Times bestselling author Leanne Ely. Putting vibrancy back into your everyday life and feeding your heart, mind, body, and soul. Join us every day at 1 p.m. Eastern for Motivational Monday, Tuesday's Tip, Wise Woman's Wednesday, Thirsty Thursday, Food Fight Friday, and of course Q&A, where no question is off limits, and Soulful Saturday. Here is your host, Leanne Ely, and the Daily Dish.
Welcome. It is Thirsty Thursday. I am your host, Leanne Ely, from Saving Dinner, of course. This is the Daily Dish Show. We are putting vibrancy back into your everyday life, heart, mind, body, and soul. Forgive the mess. We're in the middle of getting ready to move to our new house next week, so we're real excited about that. Good to see you, Catherine. Thank you so much for hanging out and stopping by. We've had a little internet techie stuff lately. We had some ice yesterday, and I think it kind of messed up all of our, whatever. So anyway, good to see you. I so appreciate you showing up. Hello, Helen. And I think I saw Martha go flying by. Hi, Vanessa. So appreciate you being here. And like I said, we're just doing the best that we can with what we've got right now for the time being. I appreciate all of you guys. Thank you so much again for showing up. We have always something going on, and yesterday was Wise Women's Wednesday, which actually, Wise Women's Wednesday is now becoming, oh, thanks, Julie likes my hair. Wise Women's Wednesday is now becoming Thirsty Thursday, simply because we're 2 false starts, and we just finally said, that's it, we're done. But anyway, thank you, Anna. All I did, it's a braid, and then I just popped it back with a little pin. So, yeah, I decided no more on the, I've packed everything except my hairdryer. So, we're done. This is as good as it's going to get. Anyway, so today's Thirsty Thursday. We have got some really good things. There's my girl, Susie. Say hi to Susie, everyone. I'm so glad you're here. And yeah, yesterday was kind of weird, but so what, right? We're always ready the next day. We're always ready to do the next thing, aren't we? I see you, Ruth. Thanks so much for showing by. And Jerry and Yvonne, yay. Glad to see you. And there's Jane. There is Jane and Angie checking in too. Love to see all you, everybody checking in. I also wanted to share with you today that Sleep Ease is still, sorry, I've got everything flipped around. I keep forgetting to flip that camera. Sleep Ease is still our supplement of the week. You can buy 4 of them for the price of 3. Put 4 in your cart, we'll adjust the price, and we'll send it to you free as long as you're here in the contiguous United States. That's what I'm calling fabulous, because let me just tell you about this stuff. This is like herbal Ambien. I would not be without it. You sleep like a bloody log. This is amazing. I don't think we've ever had a supplement other than maybe Beauty Support, where we've gotten so many shout outs on it. People really love this stuff. It's fantastic. And you find out all about it at savingdinner.com/show. Take advantage of this sale because it's going to be gone. It's going to be gone, I guess, I don't know, Saturday or something. This is this full bloom mug. This is what you will get right now because we are still waiting for our Pinky's Up cup. We have new ones coming, by the way, and they're just taking forever. We're not going to see them until the holidays are past. I guess everybody and their mother wanted mugs, And let me just say, can I make a shout out to our customer service? I mean, we have stellar customer service, don't we? Everybody say thank you to Amber, and everybody say, you need to also say thank you to Jenny too, because Jenny is the backbone of us, of all of us. She has just done a stellar job. So has Amber. And we always, with our customer service, we'll let you know what's going on. We're not going to keep you in the dark. We have this situation with this mug company, which has always done a great job for us. All of a sudden, we're like, where are they? Did you see did they send us an email saying, hey, due to big traffic, blah, blah, blah? No, they did not. They just didn't tell us. So that's just really annoying. So anyway, yeah, I have to throw that in there. It is a privilege for me to work with 2 women who I just absolutely admire and I'm so thankful for. So you got to put it out there. You got to let people know. Let your people know you love and care about them. Let them know that man, when they've got your back, girlfriend, you get to do your job better. Am I right? Anyway, I've got a heating pad on my back. I've been bending over and doing all kinds of ungodly things with this move stuff. But you know what? It's so worth it. Can't wait to show you. Next week, shows are going to be bizarro. Just sign up for crazy, because you're going to see my house. You're going to see it with the boxes. I'm going to take you down. I'm going to show you the lake. I'm going to give you the royal tour. I'm going to show you all of it. And I can't wait to have you be a part of my new digs. And by the way, for those of you who come to my events, guess what? We are going to be doing an event there. We are. We're going to be doing our next full bloom event as soon as the CDC says we aren't all going to infect each other and, whatever. But anyway, I just want you to know what next week is all about, because, crazy town. Why not? Why not? Bring it on. So we have a quote of the week. Every single Saturday, we change our quote of the week. So we're getting close on this one. I love this one so much because it says everything that we all know. Are you ready? Your mind is a prison when you focus on your fear. Anybody ever experienced that? I know I have. When we focus on our fear, we're going to get more of the same. Because remember, what we focus on expands. What we dwell upon becomes our destiny. When we understand this, then we know that when we go into the danger zone, it's time to self-correct and bring it all back to center, right? This is how it works. Look at all those lovely, lovely comments that we're getting about our Amber and our Jenny. I love that. I love that you guys also acknowledge her, because I'll tell you what, this is not a one-woman show. We all work our little tushes off, and we do it out of love and out of care and out of being on that same page, because I'll tell you what, these two women that I'm talking about are part of that rising tide that we talk about all the time. So very super grateful for them, and I just have to put it out there. What else do I have to tell you? Our gift cards are flying out the door, and you guys are enjoying them. I can't wait for you to go check them out, because you have the opportunity to give the gift of dinner or our supplements or whatever else. Go to savingdinner.com/gift and choose the one you want, because they're all cute and pretty. That's Amber. She did all of that. And I told you about our quote deck, right? It will be available tomorrow, because they just sent us a notification that they're sending them. We're actually going to have them. Now, you won't have them exactly for Christmas, but sister, it's happening. The question isn't did you fail, but did you pick yourself up and move ahead, from Joe Lewis. This is one of our old quotes of the week. This whole quote deck, look at me holding it out there. I mean, I look like a big card dealer in Las Vegas. This quote deck is going to be on sale tomorrow. And I will tell you what, tomorrow and tomorrow only, you will get this for free shipping tomorrow when we put these on sale. Just for tomorrow only. So how do you like that? Why not? If you love these shows and you want to share them, we love that. Share away. We would love that. We have some, oh, here it is, love. Look at this, guys. Yum, yum. I've been telling you about this. Look at this. Caramelized cacao. I'm telling you what, this will light you up and send you over the moon. If you're sharing these shows, I'm going to see it, right? If you share it publicly, I will. And we will be giving out some of this good stuff all this next week. You never know. You should stay tuned, because you don't know what's happening here. We give out good stuff. Sign up for our notes. Just go to savingdinner.com and you'll get to do that when you get our newsletter. You sign up for our notes, you're going to get the notes for the show tomorrow. How about that? We do that. You know why we do that? Because any way that we can support you and help you to become all that you are meant to be, that's our mission. That's our mission. Underline, exclamation point. No, I didn't cut my hair. It's pulled back. This is a braid, and I tucked it under with, it was such a crappy looking braid. I just tucked it under with a little bobby pin. So there you go. What else do I have to tell you? I think that's it. Are you ready to get down to business? I sure am. Got the notes, got the sprint. Oh, the workshop, for heaven's sakes, the workshop. How can I not tell you about the workshop? Do you know that workshop is absolutely going to light up your life? You've got to check it out. Go to savingdata.com/vibrant. The whole thing, because it's setting up and creating for 2021 the vibrant life you want to lead. That's all. Everything is there. You will be a part of our group detox starting on January 11th. And yes, you'll get a supplement, you'll get plans, you'll get shopping lists, you'll get the whole 9 yards. You will get that. That's a $47 value in and of itself. So you will get that as being part of this workshop on Saturday, January 2nd. Also, you will get our Take Back Your Life journal. You won't get it in the hard copy. You'll get it in the soft copy, shall we say, the PDF. That's going to help you to set up the next 90 days of what it is that you want to do. And last but not least, a vibrant vision board. We're going to be making them. And that whole part, the whole thing is set up so that we have a clear vision of what we want to accomplish for 2021. And we're going to set up the first part of that with our Take Back Your Life journal. Can you just stand it? Are you a part? Do you want to be a part of this? I want you to be a part of it. Go to savingdata.com/vibrant and get it. That's all. Pick it up. Pick it up. And then you'll have, I'm saying don't make another resolution. Make a reservation instead for January 2nd. It's going to be all day starting 9 a.m. Yes, I know West Coasters, that's going to be an early day, but there's this thing called coffee. It helps. I'm all about the coffee. All right. So yesterday I was trying to talk to you about our limitations, because our limitations just seem to be, ever present in front of us, don't we? We see them more. Do you know you see your limitations more than anybody else sees your limitations? We have a tendency to focus on the negativity that's within. We all have some kind of a negative trait. We all have some kind of a place in our lives that we're not super proud of, or we just don't like. We also have things that we're unable sometimes to even look at because we're blind to our own stuff. That's why it hurts when somebody says something to you and you just go, right in the heart. But what I want to talk to you about today is a little bit different. I want to talk to you about the limitations that we are aware of, the limitations that we do know about, and the fact that we argue for them. We argue for them. As a matter of fact, what we do is we put so much energy into arguing for our limitations, we lose it, man. We lose it. We lose our way. Not only do we lose our way, but we put all of our eggs in that one very sad basket. Do you see this? Ever see this? Just think about the dichotomy of this whole thing that I'm talking about. We spend our energy and our time and our arguing and all of that. Arguing is never a good idea anyway, really. Where does it ever get you? Where does it ever get you? It's usually a negative loop. But it's worse when we argue for our limitations. So, in other words, if you say, I'm just not an early bird, I'm just not an early bird, I'm just not an early riser, and then you start going through all the reasons why you can't get up early in the morning, and what it is that you have to do, and how at night that's your only time alone, and how you need to have that time, and what you can get done, and it's your me time, and you go through this whole thing setting up the reason why you can't have why your limitations are so critically important. Do you see the lunacy here? Because if we spent that time instead of arguing for our limitations, setting up our success, we would have a completely different life. Because what I have noticed is when we're arguing for our limitations, what we're actually doing is justifying the reason that we want to stay where we are. Yikes. Can you imagine that? Justifying the reason that you're staying exactly where you are. Well, blah, 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 blah. All the arguments, all the reasons, all the people that we have to talk about. It's a Facebook post. It's a text message to your best friend. It's, and here we go again. And I see this over and over on Facebook. I see it on the Facebook feed. And it's really negative. And it's justifying this position that you've taken to not grow, to not become, to not be the very best that you could be, to not grow beyond this little container that you're currently sitting in, Because at the end of the day, isn't that what we want? We want to grow so much that we have to be transferred to a bigger container, just like a plant. We have to be. And when we do this, that's when we start to realize that vibrant vision that we speak about all the time. And the vibrancy in our life that starts to bloom, full bloom even, right? Out of this whole idea of not arguing for our limitations, but instead busting through our limitations and leaving them behind and saying, you know what, I've had enough of that. I've talked enough about that. My focus, instead of all this problem stuff and all the reasons why I can't, is instead going to be on a solution, on a level up, because I am a part of the rising tide. I am going to lift my own darn boat and start living in this different world than one of defeatism. Because that's what defeat does. When we argue for our limitations, we're arguing for our defeat. We're arguing to put a period at the end of the sentence when honestly it should only be a comma, because there's lots of ways to go. There's lots of room to grow. And if you still have a pulse and still on this planet, you know, and you understand that you are fearfully and wonderfully made, put here by God himself at this time for this reason and this purpose of becoming all that you can become, then you're going to see things differently. You're not going to argue for your limitations. You're not going to see that as a thing. You're going to start seeing yourself from a whole different perspective and a whole different point of view. A whole different point of view. So, what is the reason for this? Why do we do this? What's the because behind all of this? Well, the first thing is that a lot of us have untrue stories about ourselves. We see ourselves in our 5-year-old eyes, our 4-year-old eyes. I've shared with you the story, my abandonment story that had haunted me all my life when I was a kid. My parents had a rocky marriage, and one time my dad took us, after a big fight that they had, took my brother, sister, and I, and kind of doled us out, I guess, to different households. And while my parents were trying to figure things out, I don't have the full story. But the thing about it was, I woke up one day in some strange, I remember being in the car with my sister and brother, and my dad driving, no mom, and I remember waking up in a strange bed. And, this man and woman walk into this room, which was a study with a twin bed in it. Remember that? I remember the crispness of the sheets. This is back in the olden days when people actually used to iron their sheets. Remember that? And I remember thinking, who are these people and where the heck am I? And I couldn't get an answer from them on where my parents were and when they were coming to pick me up. And I was 4 years old. Well, that abandonment issue haunted me for my lifetime. And I didn't recognize it or realize it until much later, when I finally realized what this was. And I asked my mom, she was still alive, and I said, do you remember something like this? And we sat down and we, kind of hashed through the whole story, which is not important nor pertinent to this story. The fact is that my lens was clouded by a 4-year-old issue that I had, and through that lens, that's how I saw everything. Is this guy gonna abandon me? Is that gonna happen? And always, my mom used to say I would dance for my supper. In other words, I was always entertaining, always trying to keep people happy, always working the room, working the whole thing to make sure everybody was happy and happy with me. And when you do that, you have an untrue story about yourself, because I didn't need to do all of that stuff. I didn't have to bend over backwards. I didn't have to over volunteer like I did back in the day. I always did things up and above and to the degree of giving everybody more than they needed and then taking it out on me. I was the last one on the list. I shared the story with you before when I was getting new clothes, and the sales lady tells me, you need a new bra, sister. And I had a nursing bra on, and my youngest was 14 years old. What does that tell you? You're at the bottom of the list. And I did it. In the whole thing, I didn't want anybody to be disappointed in me and abandon me. That was my whole issue. I went through counseling. That's why I can tell you all of this. This was the root cause for me. But that was the untrue story about myself, was that I was not worth hanging around. I was not worth the time or the investment for somebody to be with me long term. That was my whole abandonment issue stuff. And that's just not true. That's how I saw myself back then, but that didn't mean that that was the truth of where I was at 50-something years old. Not at all. So you gotta unplug those stories and plug in the truth. And number two is that, we have belief systems sometimes that no longer serve. My daughter kind of went through this whole metamorphosis of understanding what, we brought her up in a very strict Christian home, and there was a lot of stuff there that she felt a little bit suppressed with, and she wrote a whole blog post on, where how her faith had changed. My faith has changed. I think faith is something that does changes, evolves, grows, works into your life the way it needs to. That doesn't mean that God doesn't change, but we do, and the way we react and handle things, our beliefs about what is true and what is real and what is necessary and how we need to do things, those things change as we go. And we need to be flexible enough to see that, because blessed are the flexible, for they shall not be broken. But you're rigid in your belief system, I guarantee you, brokenness is going to come your way, and it's going to be harmful. We have to look at things through different lenses. Number three is that arrogance is the self-perpetuation of this stuff. When we think that we know everything, when we are unteachable, when we are unmovable, and we just die on those hills, we really do die on those hills, don't we? We don't get what we want. We don't have the opportunity to bloom where we're planted. We don't, because we are so rigid, we are so narrow, we see things one way, that's it, and there's no room for anyone else. How does that work out? How's that make you feel? I mean, think about how that is. That is a recipe for disaster and for great unhappiness. You can't plant happiness seeds to get the joy that you want in your life and to have the vibrant life that you want when you're completely intolerant of every other human being on the planet unless they think exactly like you. Yeah, right? I mean, it's nonsense. Look at us. We are just like this amalgamation of humanity, and we're all a mess. Can we just, I'm raising my hand. If you're a mess, pinkies up. We all are. It's the human condition. It's the way it is. It's how we are built. But the thing that's so cool about it is if we stop arguing for our limitations and start seeing possibilities instead of all those limits, our lives are going to start to change. Our belief systems are going to start to blossom. Our arrogance is going to fall down because we're not going to have any more tolerance for our own arrogance, right? Isn't it something when have you ever been tutted? You know what I mean? I used to think that, but now I think this, somebody one-upsman you like that. That arrogance kind of thing, that kind of limitation puts you in a little tiny box, in a little tiny corner, all by yourself with your own little arrogance keeping you company. And it's lonely and it's sad. It doesn't mean that you have to line up with what everybody else believes. It just means that you're still kind and loving, I'm never going to be, I'm any kind of religion other than a Christian than who I am. That's never going to change. But does that mean I'm intolerant of everybody else's? Does that mean I'm intolerant? I'm not going to be kind to somebody who doesn't express themselves the same way that I do? I hope not. Never. Please, God, no. Don't let that happen. But our limitations, that's part of our limitations. And part of our limitations is seeing ourselves in the way that we don't have the ability to go beyond anything. We can't go beyond our own limited thinking. We can't go beyond our own, I'm always going to be a night owl. We can't go beyond that. Start looking for possibilities. So how do we combat that? How do we combat all these limitations that we put on ourselves and this idea that we're just, constricted by these thoughts and these belief systems and everything else? Well, number one is you got to crack the door, sister. Open it up. Curiosity is going to do that. Curiosity is going to knock on the door and you're going to want to know who's there. right? You're going to want to see who's there. So crack the door, take a peek, and look at the possibilities. I'm not asking you to lose your soul, you know? I'm not asking you to lay it all down and just pretend like, you know, hey, I'm open to anything. That's not true. I mean, one of the things that a pastor told me many years ago is, it's one thing, it's a good idea to have a really open mind, but not so open that all your brains fall out, right? I think that's about one of the funniest things I've ever heard, but it's true. An open mind just means that you are genuinely interested in others, in what they think, what they believe, and what they're about. Not for the sake of argument, but just for the sake of knowing your fellow man. What a difference that makes. That's full of love right there. That's full of love and kindness right there. Number 2 is lay down your ego. I'm going to tell you what, arrogance has never been an attractive trait. Have you been around haughty, arrogant people? Is that fun? That's no fun. I mean, that's like basically, you know, putting your head in a toilet and flushing. Who wants to be around that? No one is the answer. No one. Lay down your ego. Get yourself to the place of saying, you know what, I'll be teachable. That doesn't mean that you have to give up anything. It just means that you have to give up this nonsense of thinking that you're right, you know everything, you're unteachable, and all of the rest of it. Because when you're unteachable, then you are bound by limitations. And those limitations are not going to get you to the place from here to there. You know, we can't build bridges with our beliefs. We have to build bridges with our tools. We have to use actual stuff to do it with. And how do we do that? By flipping out the stuff that no longer works for us. You know, we got to flip it out. It's the pancake diet. I told you about that. When the negativity sets in, you got to flip it with something positive, because that negativity is a loop and it just goes around and around and never goes anywhere. It gives you nothing back in return. So to build that bridge from here to there and to get to that vibrant vision, what you have and want in your life, that's going to require tools. That means that you're going to use your empathy, that's your beautiful self. That means you're going to ask questions. You're going to be curious. You need creativity in your life. That means that you're going to take out all the tools that you can. If you're on a quest for losing weight, you understand how hydration works. You understand how intermittent fasting works. You understand all these different things so that you can start building that bridge. That is the tools, that's the materials, that's how it works. But not if you are limited in your beliefs, and you're limited and you're taking your limitations all the way and arguing for them so that you can stay there. Because staying there isn't going to do anything for you. It's just going to make it worse. It's part of the negative loop. So number 3 is you got to recognize the pattern. Do you see the pattern? I've seen the pattern so many times in my own life. I'll say, yeah, but, you know, and yeah, but is a phrase that we need to look at, because yeah, but is dismissive. Yeah, but you don't know. Yeah, but you don't understand. Yeah, that might be okay for you, but for me, and on we go. We argue for those limitations. Man, we can get into it. It is an arm wrestle of epic proportion, you know, and it's just like this, back and forth and back and forth. And that's just insanity. We don't need that. All right. Number 4 is connect to the truth. And when I say connect to the truth that you know, deep, deep, deep within. What is that truth? Does that mean that everything is going to be limited in your life? Or does that mean that the truth and the love and the continuity of that truth is enough? We have to look at it from a completely different perspective. Do you understand what I'm saying with that? Because when we're looking at the truth, it's the truth as best we understand it. Nobody has the whole truth and nothing but the truth in their hot little hands. Even if they tell you that they do, they don't. And as a matter of fact, if you take a look at history, this is how cults were created. When we think only that guy, only that person has the connection to the whole truth. Not so. So we have to do, so when we're trying to connect, like let's go with a smaller thing though, connect to the truth of weight loss. You know, you'll hear this stuff, weight loss is so hard. Well, no, it's not. It's you just haven't found your personal formula. So what can we do with that? Well, we connect to the truth with our community, We connect to the truth with the questions, asking the right questions and asking a lot of questions so we can understand even more. And then the last thing is that we just have to be willing to be teachable so we can find out more. We can find out our preconceived notions of, say, what fasting is could be wrong. We get the fear factors thrown down by all the people, the amateur nutritionists that are in our lives. It's not true. We don't need that. What we need to do is we need to do our own research and get the questions answered, or ask in our community, or ask for support, or ask to do all the things that we need. I need help with this. There is nothing ever going to be wrong with saying, I need help with this. And then number 5, I'm going to just say, is that self-care goes such a far way. Have you noticed that? How self-care seems to nurture those places in our hearts that are just, empty and scared and alone, abandoned, victimized even. But if we start practicing self-care and start nurturing that part of ourselves, that beautiful self part of you that hasn't been nurtured in a long time, well, that just all plays into it, doesn't it? It creates a different loop that we want. Self-care, happiness, creativity, growth, reaching our goals, seeing our vibrant vision with emotion and excitement, and creating all of that for ourselves. What we find when we just start to do this is that those limitations, those preconceived limitations and notions that we've had built for ourselves, they go away. They fall away, as a matter of fact, with new and improved beliefs, new and improved thought cycles, new and improved everything. It's like watching a detergent commercial, new and improved. Well, what does that mean? It's going to take out stains. It smells better. It's whatever. Well, this is the same thing for us. It's like all new and improved Leanne. Here I am. We get to do that. And we get to do that as often as we need to. We get to do that as we put our focus on our growth instead of our limitations. This is a needle moving moment, guys. It is. This is how we can see ourselves in a completely different light and line ourselves up with the things that we want instead of the junk that we don't. And it's all about focusing on the possibilities versus the stuff that doesn't work. Limitations will never work. The only limitation we want is a speed sign, right? The speed sign that says, this is how much you're supposed to drive at a school zone. This is how much you're supposed to drive on a freeway. That's appropriate, but not for our lives. Not for our lives. You can go as fast as you want or as slow as you want. But the point is to keep your focus on the right thing. Keep the focus on your own personal growth and watch what happens. You're planting little seeds of happiness, and that joy is just going to spread like crazy. And not only that, but you're going to start moving to the place of seeing that vibrant vision for your life every single day and growing from it. Because that's what grows us. When we have the emotion thrown behind it, when we see it and we're excited about it, boy, oh boy, do things ever start to happen. My house that we're moving into on Tuesday is the result of a vision that I've had on my vision board. It's incredible. It's incredible. And that's because I've made a decision not to limit what I thought was possible, but to limit instead, to let go of those limits and to see the possibilities. And I'm moving into it next week. Can't wait to share it all with you. And I'm thrilled that you are all a part of my life. I really am, because you light me up every single day. I appreciate you more than you know. If you need anything from me, I'm always an email away. Send in any email to support@savingdinner.com. And by the way, if you're going to be with us tomorrow, it's Q&A. So send in a question, put it in the subject line, question for Leanne on Friday, and support@savingdinner.com is the email address. I do appreciate you. Thanks for showing up today. I will see you tomorrow. Peace be with you.
Thanks for watching. You can find us on YouTube on the Saving Dinner channel or on the Saving Dinner Facebook page. Check back daily for new episodes, Monday to Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern. If you missed the live show, you can watch the replay. Until next time, pinkies up.